Bitcoin is digital capital. I'm describing all the ways you can capitalize. You capitalize your private fund, your private company, your public company, et cetera, your endowment. You can capitalize with digital capital. It's going to outperform the S&P by a factor of 3, right? That's very simple. But the other things that are paradigm shifts right now are digital credit. For 300 years, the Western world ran on gold-backed credit. All the sovereign debt from France, Germany, the UK, it was all gold-backed credit. The currency, the United States currency, $20 to an ounce. The US dollar was gold-backed credit. US bonds were gold-backed credit. So that's the status for 300 years in the Western world. Now we're moving to a world of digital gold-backed credit, digital credit. So what does that mean? If I know that Bitcoin's going up 30% a year, I can sell you a credit instrument that gives you 10% dividend yield. I can over-collateralize at 5 to 1. I can strip 95%. A lot of people aren't sure whether Bitcoin's going down 10% in the next year, but the likelihood is going down 90% in the next year statistically is 1/100th of that. I can strip 99% of the risk off the instrument by over-collateralizing it. I can hand you 10% of the yield. I can keep the other 20%. So you issued credit, which meets the need of a credit investor. And then you get the capital back. The credit is long duration. Like when we sell a credit instrument, we could sell $1 billion of a credit instrument. The creditors give us $1 billion. We give them back $100 million a year. We buy Bitcoin. It goes up 30%. We generate $300 million a year in operating income tax deferred. It compounds. We end up with $10 billion on the back end. You're looking 10 years out. We have $100 million of dividend obligation. We make $1 billion up front. We make $9 billion on the back end. We make $10 billion by selling. Think about this. You sell $1 billion of credit, you just made $10 billion. Think hard about that.
Welcome back to the channel. Aaron here from Bitcoin Bros coming back at you with another video today. We're going to be getting into strategy, into some Bitcoin updates. Stay tuned. Not a lot to go over in today's video. It's been quiet here over the weekend, but make sure to stay tuned. Still got some interesting information. Subscribe and like if you're new. We have new content coming out every single day. And you can see right here from Michael Saylor, he's saying best continue, and he's showing the strategytracker.com chart with the dots of all strategies Bitcoin buys. So all this means is that over the past week, strategy has bought Bitcoin. So tomorrow morning, we'll get the announcements of how much Bitcoin strategy has bought over the past week. And I think this is maybe the first week where we see the STRC ATM being used, because we did break above that $99 price point. The trading volume was pretty good here all week. So it's going to be really cool to see if they even used the STRC ATM, and if they did use it, how much Bitcoin they were able to buy using the STRC ATM. So that'll be something that we'll definitely cover in tomorrow's video. And looking at strategy, the close on Friday, we closed above 240, got back above that 240 price point. As you guys can see, the market cap is around 69.5 billion. The Bitcoin net asset value around 66.3 billion. So you can see the MNAV premiums have come down a lot for strategy, which may be a good sign to buy MSTR while the MNAV is very close to 1. And we've talked about that a lot in our previous videos. And something to pay attention to this week, we have a pretty big Bitcoin buy coming from strategy. 620 million euros, which is around 715 million US dollars. This buy, this is going to probably close this week, and then they'll use those funds to buy Bitcoin this week. So around a $700 million Bitcoin buy coming this week from strategy because of STRE. This is another huge buy from strategy, so something we have to look forward to. And then we can see where strategy closed on the week on Friday at 241. We were down 3 spots, still at 153 in the top 153 companies in the United States with a $69 billion market cap. And we do have a catalyst coming about a month from now. Strategy could get included in the S&P. A lot of people over on Twitter don't believe it's going to happen because the price action has been bad as of late, but they still qualify for the S&P 500. And that can still happen in December. And that will be a pretty big catalyst for strategy if that does happen. And then looking on Friday at the most actively traded U.S. stocks, Strategy is still in the top 15 here. As you can see, we're here with around $4.11 billion of actively traded volume. So more and more people still interested in the stock, trading the stock. This is good to see. And this could be foresighting what's coming in the future. Strategy potentially a top 20 company in the future. As we've seen the trading volume every single day, they're in the top 20 companies. But obviously, as you guys just saw on that previous screen, we're at 153 in the top US companies. So this may be showing you where strategy is going as it's trading with some of the biggest companies in the world, but the market cap is a lot lower than a lot of these other companies that are the highest traded volume stocks in the United States. And then some news here from Trump. President Trump announces that he'll be paying a tariff dividend of at least $2,000 per person in the United States. Stimulus checks are officially back. So I did the math on this. You have 340 million people in the US at a $2,000 clip. That's going to be around $680 billion that'll be printed to pay these dividend checks. And if you check out this tweet here, the last time Trump gave Americans a stimulus check, it was the CARES Act. Adults got $1,200 and children got $500. It was signed into law by March 27, 2020. The 2020 stimulus checks ignited the biggest crypto bull run in history, turning 1,200 into 12,000 if invested in BTC at that time, and you still hold it today. Within days of receiving the stimulus checks, both Coinbase and Binance surges of 1,200 Bitcoin buys went off. Within 6 weeks, Bitcoin pumped 50% from $6,800 to $10,000. During the broader run, Bitcoin went from around 3,800 to 69,000, and Ethereum went from 120 to 4,800. The total market cap of crypto went from 180 billion to 3 trillion plus. So all this is showing you is if they are going to print this money and give it to Americans, asset prices are going to go up. You're going to want to invest in Bitcoin, strategy, your favorite stocks, whatever you think is going to pump, because it's just going to be quantitative easing and putting money back into the economy because it's making the dollar, it's going to make the value of the dollar go down. So if this happens next year, you're definitely going to want to put more money into the market because we'll probably go into a 2021 like bull run where there's just a lot of money floating around in the economy. So that is something to watch out for. And then Trump Media, they had their earnings call and they hold around $1.3 billion of Bitcoin. So Trump Media holding that Bitcoin, and I'm sure that they'll buy more BTC in the future. And they also hold Kronos, which is another crypto, the Crow token. So it'll be interesting to see if they also add other cryptos in the future. But right now, Bitcoin is definitely the biggest holding. And then looking at the Bitcoin ETFs last week, we had three pretty big red days. We had a rebound on Thursday around 240 million, and then a massive outflow on Friday around $560 million from the Bitcoin ETFs. So over the past couple of weeks, the Bitcoin ETFs have not been looking that well. More and more red. And if we continue to see this red from the Bitcoin ETFs, I personally believe the price of Bitcoin is going to continue to go down. Bitcoin right now not trading too bad. We're currently at around $103,000, 450, up around 1% today. So Bitcoin, coming back up from the lows of around 98,000. So that's pretty good to see. But that's all I had for today's video, guys. A quick one here on the weekend. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. If you found any value, make sure to hit that like button. My name is Aaron from Bitcoin Bros. I'm out. See you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.